So now I'm going to give the floor to Jim. Jim has over 50 years of experience in international development and over 35 years of experience in international programs evaluation. He was the head of design, monitoring and evaluation for accountability and learning for CARE International. He also served as the American Evaluation Association representative to the OSCE. And he was also coordinator of the Eval Partners initiative that aims to strengthen evaluation capacities of and through VOPEs across the world, among many other things. He also co-authored the Real World Evaluation book, which I think most of us know very well. So without further ado, I will give the floor to Jim.
Thank you, Sophia. I hope you can hear me. I can see my picture there. And if you could bring up my slides and show me how to advance them. And while waiting for the slides to appear, okay, I'm still learning how to move the slides from one to the next. Oh, okay. No. Yes, there it is. All right. Let me just make a comment that this course through this webinar has gone from the very global to a specific methodology used in the evaluation. I'm going to back up and go to the global level and actually sort of reinforce some of the things that Benoit said in his introductory statement, talking about the institutions that young and emerging evaluators probably ought to be involved in. And we invented this acronym called VOPE, Voluntary Organization for Professional Evaluation, to kind of put together what is in other places referred to as associations or societies, although those are usually formal and officially recognized, but there are also informal networks, communities of practice of various kinds. But we also didn't want to include in that definition consultancy groups that say, if you're looking for evaluators in my country, contact me and my associates. This is our open evaluation membership of anybody interested in doing evaluation or in using evaluation. So it's an open membership professional association or society in each country. Many of these are at national level. We'll see the numbers in just a minute. But they're also at subnational level in terms of, for example, here in the United States, we have local affiliates of the American Evaluation Association, so people can get together more frequently at the local level. But also there are regional associations, which we'll see form the OSCE from Africa, Asia, Latin America, etc. And of course, there are some international networks that are a part of this as well. So there's been an amazing growth of the evaluation profession as seen through the VOPEs that we have recognized. And back in about 1980, there was a Canadian Evaluation Society, and in '86, the merger of two previous associations within America became the American Evaluation Association. But since then, almost an exponential growth in the number of VOPEs that we have identified around the world. And the current numbers are about 139 national VOPEs in 117 countries. You'll notice that in some countries, there's more than one. We do hope they will cooperate together, but sometimes there's different subgroups that have formed their own VOPEs. If you add 11 subnational VOPEs that have registered with IOCE and those 18 regional VOPEs and also international VOPEs, you can say there's 182 VOPEs that are recognized by IOCE. Asked what their total membership is, we get a total of 57,000 individual members. We recognize that some of that is duplication because someone might be a member of the national association, let's say in Africa, but also a member of AEA or CES or EES or the others. So there's some overlap. But anyway, I think the point is it's quite a large group of us around the world now that identify some way as evaluators. IOCE, as Benoit mentioned, came together in 2003 to kind of be the overall, I call it the United Nations of VOPEs, of evaluation associations. And there you can see on the screen the mission and the division. And it's representing these VOPEs at the international level. So, and it also serves, OSCE serves as a secretariat for Eval Partners. So let's talk a bit more about Eval Partners, where the OSCE came together with the UN agencies, governments, universities, capacity building initiatives, et cetera, to form this more global partnership. And there you can see some of the icons of many of the members, more than 58, this last I saw, of associations or bilateral, multilateral agencies, UN agencies that are part of this big coalition, which we call Eval Partners. And the timeline sort of beginning in 2003 when it came together. Our first conference was in Chiang Mai, Thailand in December 2012. The second one in Kathmandu in 2015, and more recent one in April of this year. So those are the physical get-togethers of people that are leaders of Eval Partners, but lots of other activities have gone forth during that time. Here's a picture of those that gathered in Chiang Mai in 2012, a very international group. I forget how many countries were represented there, but pretty much who's who in the international evaluation field. Let me pause on this one because this was in Kathmandu, Nepal in November 2015. Those are EvalYouth that came together to Kathmandu for this conference. And here they are holding the symbols of the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN. A beautiful picture, which actually became the cover of our book on the EvalAgenda 2020. And these are the kind of people that you represent that are taking part in this conference today. In 2015, we announced that we would like to have an international year of evaluation, call it Eval Year, and it was officially launched at the UN. And many of you, I think, participated in various events around the world celebrating evaluation. So it raised the profile of evaluation, I think, around the world very well during that time. One of the sort of tangible things that Eval Partners has done with the funding that Benoit mentioned from Finland initially and now some others is to support partnerships between VOPEs in different countries, regional or national VOPEs. And there you can just see by the arrows some of the partnerships that have formed and some amazing experiences as they have worked together to strengthen their capacities as VOPEs. We produced some books. One was Evaluation Civil Society, more sort of theoretical. Here's what we can do. The second, the book on the right there is the first published use of the term VOPE, Volunteer Organization for Professional Evaluation. By the way, it's not of professional evaluators. It's for professional evaluation because, as I said, it includes users of evaluation as well as those who conduct evaluation. So these are all available on the Eval Partners website. In the middle there, in addition to two other books, notice that is the VOPE Toolkit. That's actually on the IOCE.net website, but lots of ideas that are coming together on that website to help VOPEs themselves strengthen in various kinds of ways. So I do recommend you take a look at that. And the amazing thing I think happened, that I certainly didn't predict what happened, is the number of parliamentarians beginning in South Asia, but also now in Latin America, in Middle East and North Africa, East Asia, Africa, parliamentarians saying we need to support evaluation to hold our governments accountable and to use for evidence-based for our decision-making and our policy-making. And very interesting partnership now with evaluators having these parliamentarians. And again, as Benoit mentioned, from Eval Partners now there's these 5 networks that evolved. So we have the evaluation of the SDGs, working along with the UN and what they're promoting for SDGs, EvalYouth, the group we're working with today, EvalGender Plus, EvalIndigenous, and of course there's that Institutional Capacity Toolkit and the Parliamentarians Forum. So there's all these networks that are strengthening the work of Eval Partners even more specifically. There's the list of those networks. And through the Eval Partners website, you can link to the website of each one of these networks and see how you can get further involved. So basically, I just want to make sure you know of these 2 URLs. One is evalpartners.org, and the other one IOCE.net. And in specific, I think the main point of my presentation as part of this webinar is to, if you are not, I mean, Sophia said that 2/3 of you may not already be members of your national VOPE. I urge you to do so for a number of reasons. One is to get to know other evaluators or people interested in evaluation in your own country, but also to partner with them to address the enabling environment for evaluation, rather than just hoping you might get a job as an M&E officer or hoping you might be on a team to do an evaluation. Joining together as a professional association with others interested in evaluation in your country. The way to find out if there's a VOPE in your country is go to IOCE.net. On the left side, there's a set of menus of other folders. You click on the one saying VOPE and open up the one that says directory, and you can search by country to see if the VOPE if there is a VOPE in your country, and if so, if they have registered with IOCE, and there you'll see the profile there. All right, I went through that fairly quickly. I'm ready to see if there's any questions that you want me to answer more specifically.
Hello, Jim. Thank you very much for your presentation. We do have a few questions. The first question is, how can newer VOPEs become recognized by the IOCE? I'm going to paste this on your chat box. We have another question which I'm going to read to you now. How to deal with closed VOPEs that are not eager to accept young and emerging evaluators? And we have another question, how to foster exchange and networking between VOPEs, perhaps in the same region or different regions. I'm going to post these questions in your private chat box, Jim, which you can access if you click on the arrow where it says chat channel general, or I can repeat them if you need me to.
Let me say that to register, if your VOPE is not already registered, at that IOCE.net on the left side under the menu, there's an option to register your VOPE, and the form, the survey form is right there. Someone representing your VOPE should then fill that out, and it includes 3 contact persons to make sure that, of course, the leadership of your VOPE is involved in that. The question of finding out that your VOPE is not open to open membership, especially of young and emerging evaluators, let us know if that's the case, because it's a very important criteria that the IOCE recognizes as VOPEs are indeed open, and in fact more than open, encouraging membership by people like yourselves to get involved, not only for your own sake, but I think you have huge contributions to make to the evaluation profession. And as far as partnering with other VOPEs, watch for information from eval partners when the next round of grants are available. The peer-to-peer, P2P grant mechanism looks for VOPEs who, for some reason or another, identified each other as having some common interest and would like to do a project together. And there's financial assistance to help you do that. In some cases, you might even just partner with others by searching for them on the IOCE.net website and under that directory, and finding others that either geographically or topographically have some interest, common interest with you, things you might even do just by yourselves, with or without an external grant. And I see the question from Candice there in the chat room. Yes, we certainly want to have standards, ethics and standards. In fact, one of the things VOPEs need to do is to either relate to their own regional or international standards and ethics guidelines that are out there, but also, of course, being open to YEEs, young and emerging evaluators, who is something we would definitely hope that they would be able to do. It's fun to see the comments from friends of mine out there that have met in my international travels, so hello to many of you.
Hi, Jim. We have time for one more question. Here, they're asking, how can we help young and emerging evaluators get in leadership roles in their VOPEs? I'm giving the floor back to you now.
I think it'd be reasonable to expect that an existing VOPE might, when someone else, a young person that knocks on the door and says, could I be a member? They would first want to see that you actually have something to contribute. So you get actively involved over a period of time to show that you have something to contribute. But hopefully it's more than just one person or a very small group of people leading a VOPE. That if, like Eval Partners, your VOPE has sub-networks, so young and emerging evaluators, SDG, EvalAgenda Plus, Indigenous, etc. Those would be good sub-committees, let's say subgroups of your VOPE to be formed. So there's room for various people to strengthen each of those. And through that, by the way, one of the questions near the end of the survey form on the OSCE registration the profile form is asking for who are the, let's say, the ambassadors, the links to the various Eval Partners networks from your national VOPE. So there's ways for you to support those particular areas within your national VOPE, but also to link to the networks of similar persons around the world representing their VOPEs, in example, in EvalYouth.